I just told a lie. That ain't all what I had to say. The game. The game. I said, these motherfuckers are crazy. Do you hear me? This nigga got his ass online talking about how he read half of the comments about Cardi B and, you know, how half of the comments were from women basically encouraging Cardi B to leave that thing that they call a marriage. And how, you know, back in the day, people stayed married and, you know, a person didn't leave a marriage just because of a little incident or a situation. An incident or a situation. That's what y'all call it? That's what y'all call it? No, call it what the fuck it is. Call it what the fuck it is. They didn't leave when their husbands cheated on them. Not a little incident or a situation. What the fuck? How marriage was built on a rock. Or some bullshit. Some bullshit. I said, these motherfuckers is crazy. Do you hear me? Like, first of all, if we really want to go ahead and have an honest conversation, the reason why because I had this conversation before at work with this girl. Her father is a preacher, and she was basically, we were talking about how marriages, you know, don't last nowadays and how they did back in the day. And it was me and her, and it was about 2 or 3 other people that was listening. They wasn't saying nothing, they were just listening like, ooh. And I told her, I'm tired of people comparing marriages in 2018 to marriages from 1950, 1960. Back then, women didn't have shit. Do you hear me? Not a goddamn thing. The only thing they could do was pop open their goddamn legs and push out children. The man sometimes was the only motherfucker that was working. A lot of the times. So my whole thing is, how can you compare something now where females know they ain't gotta put up with no fuck shit from no fuck nigga? Bitch, I'm gone. This is not what I signed up for. And that's one thing if that's what you signed up for. That's one thing when you know what you're getting involved in. It's one thing when you know, like that nigga told me that, you know, it's going to be me and him, and he might fuck another bitch every 3-4 months. You see what I'm saying? It's different when you know what you're signing up for versus when you don't know. When a motherfucker swerving down, oh, I'm going to be committed to you and you only. Women didn't have shit back then. What was they going to do? Because their sisters and cousins was in the same fucking situation. Having 4 and 5 kids. Man working, couldn't go nowhere. Nigga, and if you really want to go ahead and be honest, the niggas from back then was just as trifling as the niggas nowadays. They was doing the same motherfucking thing. The only difference is back then, them niggas used to check their side bitches. Now, these side bitches don't give a fuck. These hoes going to the blogs, they're going to TMZ. Bitch, they writing whole full motherfucking stories on goddamn Facebook. They coming out with books. They don't give a fuck. Do you hear me? Back then, Miss Deborah knew. If you see that nigga in the street, you better not even speak. And if you damn sure see him in the street with his motherfucking wife and his 3 children, bitch, you better go the other motherfucking direction. Do you hear me? Now side bitches walking up and talking about, hey, how you doing? What's up? I thought you was coming over last night. What the fuck? Okay. You know how many of our grandmamas dealt with shit from our granddaddies who wasn't shit? Everybody went my grandfather was a good man. No, he wasn't. Your grandfather wasn't no good man. Your grandfather used to beat on your motherfucking grandmother. That motherfucker had 3 kids by Miss Wanda that live on the north side of town. Bitch, this is a true story. This is a true motherfucking story, y'all. I was talking to one of my coworkers. And this was probably about a month or 2 ago. And this bitch told me that when her grandfather died, that was at the funeral. And it was a boy and a girl sitting like on the aisle with the family. And, you know, of course it's a funeral. Ain't nobody really saying that. But they realized after the funeral, like, who is this boy and this girl? Why the fuck this bitch told me that grandmother told him that was her husband's 2 children that he had with another woman? What the fuck? Didn't nobody even know? I said, you know how many secrets that our grandmama's probably sitting on? How much shit that our granddaddies put our grandmothers through? So when these women were married back then, yeah, they was married. Hell, they couldn't get no motherfucking divorce. They couldn't go nowhere. They ain't had no jobs. They ain't had no money. The fuck? Nowadays, bitches know. You got me fucked up. I'm out of this hoe. Shit, females making more money than, hell, some of the niggas now. I mean, not across the board. We know not across the board, but, you know, in some relationships. So, yeah, when you hear these niggas talking about, oh, when you hear these people, not niggas, people, talking about, oh, people used to stay married back in the day, yeah. Because the women couldn't go no motherfucking way. They ain't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. You know how many women probably went to sleep every night wanting to get out of the fucking situation they was in? Because they knew their husband wasn't shit. He was cheating on her. Had kids. But as long as he was, you know, bringing home money and making sure the lights didn't get cut off and was putting food on the table, then everything was fine. No, bitch. That ain't how life is supposed to be. Everybody want to talk about how their granddaddy was everything. No, your granddaddy wasn't shit. Hell, my granddaddy wasn't shit. If you want to go ahead and put it out there. I remember one time, y'all. One time before he passed away, and no, I didn't go to the funeral. Before he passed away, I had went to college. I had came to college. I had moved to Houston, and I had went home. I think it was for Christmas. I don't know what it was for, but I had went home. I was in my grandmother's house, and they was like, oh, Chi. My nickname is Chi Chi for y'all who don't know. Well, y'all probably don't know that, but my nickname is Chi Chi. So they was like, oh, Chi, you know, your grandfather on the other side of town. I'm like, okay. Now, mind you, I ain't never met this. I'm sure he probably was around when I was a baby, but I don't remember him at all. Now, mind you, the town I grew up in was like 1,500 people. That's it. So the other side of the town really meant just up the street and around the corner. So anyways, I'm like, okay, like, what y'all want me to do? So my mama like want me to go see him. You need to go see your granddaddy. For what? I don't even know this man. So girl, I go over there. I get over there. And I remember walking up. And his name was Sonny. At the old school, Sonny. His name was Sonny. And it was like, Sonny, here go your grandson. Rodney. Now he drunk. I think he actually was a drunk. I'm not sure. You know, I don't know if he was drunk or he was a drunk. You know, to me, it's a difference. But he was drunk. And he was like, who? Grandson? I ain't got no grandson. Your grandson, Rodney. So my mom, I'm like, Mom, what do y'all want me to do? Like, I'm like, hey, how are you? Oh, what's your name? Just drunk. What's my name? So I'm like, I'm looking around like, are y'all fucking serious? Like, are y'all fucking serious? I'm ready to go. I'm about to go back. I'm about to go. Somebody take me back home. Somebody take me back to Nanny house. We'll call my grandmother Nanny. Take me back to Nanny house. Like, what the fuck y'all got me over here for? Like, what the fuck? Anyways, and the stories I heard about him anyways. He ended up passing away a couple of years later. And I was just like, and I remember when he passed away, they called me and they was like, oh, your grandfather died. I was like, okay. I know that sounds so mean, but I was like, I did not know that, man. What do y'all want me to do? This is pretty much like you calling and telling me a stranger died. Like, why it's like, oh, somebody just passed away. Like, I'm sure the people that was close to him were sad, but I don't know this man at all. This man didn't even know me. This man told y'all he didn't even have no grandson. So anyways, I remember he passed away and I called my sister. And I was like, oh, you know, how y'all doing? How was the funeral? My sister was like, I mean, you know, Mama, she teared up a bit, but, you know, we just sat there. And my sister, just like my sister was like, we didn't know that man. Hell, of course, if I didn't know him, they damn sure didn't know him. I'm the oldest one. So they was like, we were just sitting there. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'll call back later, you know, and talk to Mama. But it's just like, I don't know. But yeah, like a lot of people, they just want to act like, oh, marriage lasted so long back in the day. And, you know, it's a reason why marriage lasted so long back in the day. You know, yeah, your big mama and your granddaddy was married for 55 years. But I guarantee you, that bitch was probably only happy for 7, okay? Because she know that nigga wasn't shit. This nigga done had 4 kids from Miss One, 4 kids from Miss Wanda and 2 kids from Miss Deborah, and she know about it, but don't nobody else know about it. How the fuck you at a funeral, which for your grandfather, and you find out that the nigga and the female sitting on the same bench with you is really your relative? What the fuck? Granddaddy had 2 kids. Yes, granddaddy had 2 kids. A lot of these niggas was having kids outside of their marriage, and all the women could do was stay. Ain't it sad that we basically pretty much repeating it? Look at Rashida with her dumb ass. You know, like I said, it's one thing for a motherfucker to cheat, and you been with a nigga for so long. Okay, Rashida and Kirk been together a long time from what I understand. But for a nigga to continue to cheat on you, continue to embarrass you, and then turn around and have a motherfucking child on you, and you still stay? Baby, you a special kind of stupid for me. I can't do it. It's one thing I give you a pass when you've been with a motherfucker for 15, 20 years and he cheat or you cheat and y'all stay together. Okay, I understand. But bitch, you cheat and you embarrass me. You in motherfucking hot tubs with Bambi and shit. What the fuck? Wasn't that Bambi? And you gonna turn around and have a baby with a motherfucking stripper? Fuck if it was a stripper, bitch. You could have been a CEO. Fuck that. Which means you out here raw dogging bitches. Bitch, y'all hoes live in Atlanta. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but y'all hoes live in Atlanta. They said Atlanta is like a third world country when it comes to the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Bitch, I thought an epidemic was like, honey, it's an epidemic. Do you hear me? Y'all hoes live in Atlanta. And y'all men out here fucking everybody raw. I keep telling y'all, baby, it's real in these streets. And on top of that, child, you really do have sex. When you have sex with somebody, you really having sex with everybody who they had sex with. You are. You having sex with everybody they had sex with. Because, and even if you think that HIV is a gay disease, that's fine, think that. But you also have to realize that everybody is not telling the truth about who the fuck they sleep with. So even if you sleeping with a man who is straight, and then he's sleeping with a woman who's sleeping with a man who she thinks straight, but then that man sleeping with a man, you see what I'm saying? And then that man sleeping with a woman, and then that woman sleeping with a man, and then that man sleeping with a man, and that man sleeping with a man, and then that man sleeping with a woman, who's sleeping with a woman, who's sleeping with a woman, who's sleeping with a man. You see what I'm saying? That's how all that shit, that's how that shit works. So you pretty much sleeping with everybody. So even if you think it's a gay disease, you don't know, everybody not telling the truth about who they fucking. And it's niggas out there, I don't know why y'all don't, it's niggas out there in 2018 who still fucking niggas and fucking bitches. Even though I think HIV was man-made, you know, I think that shit was started to get rid of gays, but... So, yeah, y'all can keep thinking that shit if you want to. Anyway, so, that's all I really had to say. This video was only supposed to be a couple of minutes long. So, in conclusion, the game needs to shut the fuck up. I pray to God he don't give his advice. I pray to God he don't give this advice to his goddamn children. Because if he do, them children gonna grow up to think, oh my God, it's a sad day, and it's gonna be a sad day. That's the type of advice he giving to his goddamn daughters. Stay with a nigga even though he cheat on you, because marriage is built on a rock. Even though this motherfucker basically said, fuck marriage. Fuck the vows we took. Y'all done took motherfucking vows. That's what another thing too I'm gonna say, then I'm gonna get off of here. It'd be so funny to me when I hear straight people talk about how they don't believe in gay marriage because of the Bible, blah, 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 blah. You know, y'all been throwing y'all legs to the moon and hitting Jesus in his face since y'all was 12 years old and you ain't stopped. But it's so funny because then y'all turn around and, you know, take these vows in front of God, in front of your family, in front of your friends, but most importantly in front of God, what you say you believe in, and then go out there and cheat on your wife 5 times. The fuck? And then the same people who know you cheated on your wife 5 times will then turn around and say they don't believe in gay marriage. Baby, no. You don't believe in marriage, sweetie. Okay? Anyways, let me go, y'all. Bye.